Hi, folks. This is Todd Elliott. Thank you for joining me today on my video of Black radio stations in post-war America. Post-World War II America experienced more than just the baby boom that followed, and of which I'm a member. There was also a boom for many businesses as well. The radio broadcast industry is just one prominent example, and station ownership provided opportunities for entrepreneurs to stimulate their local economies by promoting businesses through advertising and the ad revenue generated, providing good technical, entertainment, and administration jobs. Here's a breakdown to consider. In 1940, the radio industry had $215 million in revenue, with 27.9% of that in local spots. In 1950, it was $605 million, with 45% in local spots. 1960 saw it increase to $692 million in generated revenue, and 61.8% of that was from local spots. 1970, $1.3 billion and 67%, almost 70% of that from local spots. It's clear that radio had a way of stimulating the economy and making a good living for people. But there was only one catch. For several decades in the 20th century, station ownership was limited to whites only. These stations catered primarily to white audiences, and as you can imagine, diversity was not considered part of the public interest for owner-operators. So programming either ignored Black listeners entirely or offered racial stereotypes with characters such as Amos and Andy. This was to their detriment because a trade publication, Sponsor, in 1949 stated that the industry was ignoring the 15 million Americans in the Negro market with a potential of 10 billion in spending power. In 1949, that same year, Black entrepreneur Jesse Blayton and his business partners were involved in a variety of ventures in insurance and banking before launching the Midway Television Institute of Georgia in 1947 to train returning World War II veterans for employment in the industry. Blayton saw the benefit of creating a school-to-work pipeline for Midway graduates by owning a radio station. WERD in Atlanta was up for sale that same year. Blayton put up his own money to purchase the radio station license for $50,000, becoming the first Black owner of a radio station in America. Other Black business people would follow Blayton into the broadcast radio industry, which were not without challenges. Black-owned and Black-operated stations weren't just important for the economy, but for meeting the public interest in many diverse communities across the United States. Cultural and social needs were also being met, as well as the economic. Black ownership of radio stations was poised to make the most of the cumulative wealth of its listeners.